Alright, let's get into it. I'm Kylie, and this is me. I am a student at Grand Canyon University. I am planning on continuing my education in law school. I might go home, I am going home back to Colorado. I'm from Colorado, and I'm trying to get into Colorado University, Boulder. But I will be taking a 6-month break to just study for the test itself, since it is a very difficult test. But I come from a divorced family. They were divorced since I was 2, but I have a really big Hispanic family on my mom's side. There's a bunch of us. I absolutely adore them. There's so many of them, but every time I go home, it is so welcoming, and just the energy is super high. It's lively energy, which this has shaped a huge role in who I am as a person and as a communicator. Given that there's so many of us, you have to learn to put yourself out there and kind of communicate really well. So in this video, I'll be discussing how my life experiences, particularly a major health challenge along with my hobbies and relationships, have influenced my self-concept, self-esteem, and the way I communicate with others. So going into life experiences, one of the biggest events that shaped my self-concept was that I had to get heart surgery when I was 14, 16 years old. Before that, sports were a huge part of who I was. I was always playing sports. I played basketball. It was weekdays, practices. Every weekend we had games, tournaments. It was just back to back. You go to practice right after school, come home, do homework, shower, do whatever. Next day, repeat. Friday, practice. Next morning on Saturday, you're having tournaments out the entire day. So this consisted of my entire life. But after the surgery, I had to redefine who I was outside of athletics. This experience forced me to develop some sort of resilience and adapt to new ways of expressing who I am. And that definitely changed how I saw myself and how I interacted with others. I always interacted with my team. Never really interacted with anyone other than my team, since I was just constantly with them. And I had a lot of time to reflect on who I was now, since I wasn't super busy all the time and I didn't know what to do. In terms of communication, this experience kind of taught me how to be more intentional with what I say. I realized that verbability wasn't a weakness, but it was a way I needed to connect with others instead of relying on sports as my outlet. How to develop stronger verbal communication skills to build more relationships outside of sports, since I couldn't go to practice anymore. They still did make me feel included, but obviously there was a bit of a difference, bit of a barrier, since I wasn't playing. And this kind of aligns with the course of self-concept and my perception of who I was and how I shifted during this major life event. And it definitely made me appreciate everything a lot more. During the surgery, they were really surprised that I was still alive. It's called PDA. They're supposed to find it when you are born, so they didn't find it till I was 14 or 16 years old. So my heart was pretty much doubles in size, and my lungs were filled with fluid and blood. So definitely helped me realize how little time people have and how it can just switch like that. So it definitely made me wake up and start to get out there a little bit more, build more connections, open up a little bit more, get rid of the shell. But due to this, now that I had more time to do other things, I started picking up more hobbies. I realized I always loved music. I've always used music as like an outlet if I'm stressed out, if I'm sad, if I'm happy, whatever. So I started to go to more concerts because one of my best friends loved concerts in high school, and I decided to start going with her. And through my whole friendships, a lot of my friendships, it was always a way for me to connect with them was through music, talk about new albums that came out, new songs, if we like the same artist, and it kind of allowed me to express myself without saying who I was. But being in that environment surrounded by people who also share the same enjoyment of music and just that lively energy kind of boosted my confidence and kind of made me feel like a sense of belonging. This plays a part of like self-esteem because I was engaging in something that I loved and it built my confidence and it influenced how I interacted with others, whether it was talking to strangers at the shows, saying just a quick hi or like excuse me, or it's honestly kind of incredible how many people I've met at concerts that I still talk to today, and just sharing experiences with friends after the concerts and telling them how good it was and what songs they played and showing them videos, and it just kind of also strengthened my communication in social settings. It's just something you can always bring up. So being a part of a big Hispanic family means I grew up in a very collectivist culture, where my family and community come first. Very, very important. Family always comes first. Always have each other's back. Doesn't matter what you did. We will always be there. My family's always been my strongest reference group, shaping my values, communication styles. I mean, Hispanic culture communication is very expressive, and direct. We are not afraid to talk. We can be pretty loud. We're not afraid to say what we want to say, at least my family. I'm a little different in that way. I'm a little bit more reserved, but a lot of my family is very expressive. They will tell you how they feel. But this is also just another way it shaped how I engage with other people. It has, just from the personal conversations and even in professional settings, just the way I grew up seeing communication, it has definitely helped me be a better communicator since my family is so communicative and strong with their communication. It's made me very strong with my communication as well. But, I mean, at the same time, being a college student and an aspiring lawyer has introduced me to a lot of new groups. I came to GCU, I didn't know anybody. I knew a few people from high school that I didn't really talk to anymore, so I had all new randoms. This definitely took some communication skills to try and build relationships since I didn't know who they were, but I ended up getting very lucky. I still live with them today, and I'm a senior. These were my freshman year random roommates. But after this, like, just surrounding myself with motivated peers, I mean, I would not be still living with them if they didn't benefit me and pushed me to be better. And they have just always helped me to better my communication, help me practice if I was in a courtroom, or just overall just better my speech, because that is a big part of my career. This also kind of reflects on social comparison. I mean, I look to these groups to shape my own personal attributes, and they're also helping me shape my professional growth. So, as I said, my family is a very strong family. They have also played a huge role in shaping my self-esteem. They are the most supportive family obviously I'm going to say that to my family, but they are so supportive. They have always challenged me because they know I can, and they know I am capable of a lot of things that I may not give myself credit for. So they are constantly telling me, just do it. Why are you complaining? Just do it. So especially after my surgery, they had some sympathy. They had no idea how I was going to be able to just do nothing. after doing something all the time, every hour of the day. So, the fact that they had a belief in me definitely strengthened my confidence in being able to figure out how to bring myself back and figure out who I am outside of sports. And it definitely also they helped me with gaining my communication back, since after this I did hermit a little bit because I didn't know what to do. I didn't have sports anymore, and it was like a culture shock to me. I didn't know what to do. But I mean, on the other hand, certain experiences have definitely challenged my self-esteem. I mean, losing my identity as an athlete after my surgery was very rough. But I did learn that that's not my worth, and that's not who I'm tied to. A sport isn't all about me. That's not me. I have other things. That's just one little part of my life, and now it's gone, so now there's room for more. But over time, after I started developing more connections through these concerts, and now I had more time to spend with my family and build my relationships and have more experiences with my family and my friends instead of just constantly being busy. And this definitely reflected on my self-esteem and how this affected my communication 100%. But to wrap it up, my experiences, both the challenges and the passions, have definitely shaped me into who I am in being a strong communicator. I give a lot of thanks to my family and my friends. My backgrounds, my hobbies, my relationships all influence how I interact with my friends, random strangers, acquaintances, in professional, personal settings. But I'm excited to see how I still grow.